I'm so tired of this. What is the basketball world smoking? What are they smoking? It's not close, guys. I don't even like LeBron. Not a fan. I love MJ. Huge fan. Why? Because of the things that everyone says. Killer mentality, competitor, just tough, not gonna take no shit, gonna get in your face if you don't work hard, take no prisoners. I'm not your friend on the court. It's a very Russell Westbrook mentality. I love it. But I mean, to say that LeBron doesn't even have a killer mentality is kind of ridiculous. I mean, anyone who makes it to the NBA, let alone the finals 9 straight times, you have to have a killer mentality. Now, he might not be on the same level as Michael, because Michael is crazy. The dude's insane, which in a good way. Just because he's not on that level doesn't mean he doesn't have a killer mentality and shouldn't be respected. But guess what? We're not arguing who is the best when it comes to killer mentality. We're not asking who has the best competitive approach to the game. We're not asking that. We're asking who the best basketball player is of all time. Who was the greatest basketball player? And it's not close if you just look at that. If you just take everything else away and you look at that, who is the greater player, the greater talent? Who has dominated the game of basketball in a larger fashion? And it's LeBron. And it's not close. Michael had his run, and it was a great run. And that's what people are doing. They're taking the story, the legend, the mystique, the mythical way of Jordan, the way that he has, the godlike aura that he puts off to people. It's what you hear all the time. He's like a god, when people argue for Michael, they say things like, there's nothing LeBron could ever do to make me believe he's better than Michael. I will never change my mind. Or they say things like, he stepped on the court and I froze because I thought I saw God, or things like, he was just a killer. He was just a killer. All right. That's great. But that's like narrative. All right. It's like what we do with LeBron every year in the NBA. We give like the MVP to whoever has the best story that year, whoever's like turn it is, But we know LeBron's the best player every year. Well, that's what we're doing here. You're rewarding Michael with the crown because of his story, because he dominated for 6 years. That's great, and yeah, he won every finals he got to. But what about the ones he wasn't getting to while LeBron was getting to them? LeBron has done more at his age than Michael did at that age, and with way less. Like, that should end the argument. One word: Cleveland. It's still, without LeBron James, the worst run organization in sports. He comes on the team, he drags them to the finals where they have no business being. They don't even have business being in the playoffs, and he drags them to the finals where he lost to the Spurs. Oh God, he's awful, right? And then he gets them far every year, but finally goes to the Heat, and lost to a Mavericks team who was just not gonna lose that year because Dirk was not gonna miss, and okay, whatever. That was the first year the Heat were together. Like, look at what everything LeBron has had to, I wouldn't say deal with. It's not like he's a victim, but he's the only constant. His teammates are constantly changing. His coaches, his GMs, his owners, his city. But he's the one constant, and he gets to the finals every single year. Michael Jordan had to have a team built around him and didn't make it anywhere until he had that great team in the Bulls that he had. Without Scottie, without Phil Jackson, he didn't get to the finals once, I don't think. And the whole debate that Michael taking a year off to play baseball is somehow an argument for him is ridiculous. So he went to go play baseball. He's a natural born athlete. Like, and he didn't even, do that well, but still, okay, yeah, it's impressive, but honestly, do you know what that is? If you go from an NBA season to playing baseball, that's called rest. Okay, folks, that's called rest. He got to take a year off in the middle of his run that nobody talks about. Like, that year is just forgotten by people. It's like it never happened. But he did come back at the end, and they got booted. But that doesn't count because it was at the end, and he was playing baseball, and he was probably, tired? It's an argument for LeBron. LeBron went 16 seasons before ever taking a break, and it wasn't even really, he didn't go anywhere else. He was still playing, but he got hurt, and, you could tell he wasn't really trying that year because the team was going to get broken up. I'm talking about last year with the Lakers. And that was his break. After 16 seasons of dominating, and still he's not slowing down one bit in the 17th. It's just a total domination. He's going to own every major stat by the time he's done. And to say that longevity doesn't play a part, you're just in denial. You people are in denial. You freaking boomers are so stuck on the story and so stuck on your time and that fact that you got to witness it. And it's like we can't pull it up on YouTube right now. And I've seen almost every one of Michael's games. And yeah, people played tougher back in that day. They beat each other up. But you weren't getting away with fouling people. It's not like, in the hand check, okay, if you're going to say the hand check back then means that Michael would have been way better playing in this era without the hand check, and LeBron is a freight train coming through the lane, and he gets fouled all the time and not called, and they don't get called because, he's just a man amongst boys out there, and he gets nicked and knacked all the time without the whistle being blown. You're not going to tell me that he couldn't handle some hand checking, and you're not going to tell me that he wouldn't have been a better defender if he was able to hand check. So the argument that Michael was a better defender is true, but you got to say LeBron isn't able to hand check. So why are you so quick to throw it in? Because LeBron is efficiency-wise a better offensive player than Michael, but you guys are so quick to throw in the hand checking rule, like, Michael had to deal with that. Well, you got to throw in, when we're talking about defense, LeBron didn't get to hand check. Okay, he'd be manhandling those boys out there if he could hand check. And the hard fouls got called, as brutal as they were, and Michael was constantly flying through the air. Like, he's going to land on the ground, and if you keep going to the rim like that, they're going to come after you, just like they do LeBron. LeBron's just stronger. He's bigger and stronger, and doesn't, fly through the air like Michael, so it doesn't look like he's getting beat up as much, but he's getting beat up. And it's not like Michael wasn't getting those calls. I've seen Michael's games. He gets the calls. Even the ticky-tack ones he would get. So I don't want to hear that. It's just, it's like a psychological, I don't know. You're never going to get through to him. It's like being in love or something, where there's not really much rhyme or reason to, why you're still fighting this and, trying to make this work. But you just feel, you have to. It's all or something. I don't know. You got the truth right in front of you. Even the eye test. Even just the eye test. LeBron is a better basketball player. He's more talented. He is more dominating. He is more dominant. Sorry. He is more durable. More efficient. More... He's just better. Sorry. I still like Michael more. I'm a bigger fan of Michael. I don't even like LeBron. Quit making me defend him.